absolutely banger intro song. Afternoon, everyone, or evening, or morning, whenever you're listening to this. This is the Dleague Podcast 2024, episode 6. We're coming off of week 3, and my guest tonight is the one and the only B.D.B, Big Dick Benda, Alex.
What up? Happy to be here. Spread some of my knowledge on all of you. In the 3-0 Neon Medusas. Just let
The
me know
rebrand.
what you'd like me to dive into, and I'd be happy to.
Dude, we're in the presence of a legend like yourself. I don't even know where to begin. Benda is 3-0 for probably the first time in league history, but he's not only 3-0, but he is dominating Herman German. Oh wait, which one are you? You're Herman German.
Herman German.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's got the Deion Sanders sunglasses on, so if you're not in the YouTube, you're missing out. But
they are Louis, by the way.
What's up, man? How's being undefeated? How's being an absolute fucking beast?
Dude, it's pretty great. Last year was a tester for sure.
All right.
I was looking back at notes from last year, like at your podcast notes, and I even forgot how bad it was. It was like every week was like Benda 1-6, Benda 1-8.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god! I think I had 2 wins last year.
It was rough.
And it was bad.
What week did you rebrand?
It was right around the time I came on the pod last year, which I thought was
week like 4 or 5.
Maybe just after that, but yeah, it was kind of mid season that I jumped into the rebrand. But it's one of those things, is contrary to how I joined the pod today. It's one of those things. It's like you kind of want to downplay how good your team is, because as soon as you start getting high in your own supply, the world is going to come tumbling down.
Oh yeah, nothing humbles you as much as fantasy football. The exact second you think you're the shit, it's over. But yeah, I mean, you did the Deion. You came into the Cloudwalker / Colorado. You cleared house. All of you guys fucking suck. You're out of here.
I snatched scholarships away from guys.
Yep.
I fucking I did it all.
Yeah,
and
now
it
you're
works.
Absolutely crushing. I did take a look at your roster. We'll check it out a little later. Your roster is fucking stacked, so this could be the year. I would fucking love top jersey of all time, I think, to see would be Neon Medusa's. And I've talked up Zachers a lot, but Neon Medusa's pushed ahead of it, even though it's a brand new, fresh franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you helped give me the idea for it, so you've got a little vested interest.
Yeah, that was the draft last year. I was like, what about just a midnight song? Medusas. Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, man. Basically, on Sundays now, I just play the Neon Medusas on repeat for 9 hours.
Merritt had her half marathon, and she's like, what song should I put on my playlist? I'm like, why don't you just put every midnight song we know?
Yeah.
And she loaded up on a horror show and Nocturnal. I was like, good call.
Yeah. How's your squad doing? Are you 2-1?
2-1 now. Well, I think we're good. I crushed Denton, but part of that is because he has like 8 people out. I scored 137. Yeah, 137. The trade with Denton was like, it was a difference of like 4 points. Nico didn't have a great game, but it was really funny to me that everybody in the entire Houston's offense was out except for Nico, and they're just like trying to get him a touchdown for no fucking reason at all at the end of the game. So Davis Mills came in and chucked him the ball 4 times in the end zone. Nothing happened, but it could have easily injured my boy. I'm 2-1. I'm 3rd most points scored, but I'm 11th in points against. So like, I don't know. I'm projected to lose right now to Zacher, who's 1-2. which was a little surprising, but yeah, we'll see. I think the squad's pretty solid. If Jaden Daniels goes down, would he? I mean, he looks like he weighs like 90 pounds, so it's probably just a matter of time. But
Oh yeah, it's any day now.
yeah, he's a number 2 QB, and I picked him like the 11th round, so it's kind of helping me out. We'll see. It'll be. I picked Zachar to win our league, and now I have to play him. And in order for him to win the league, he would have to get over my corpse. So,
You have to pry it from your cold dead hands.
yeah, I'm a little worried about that. That'd be really sad. So yeah, league win went well. I was at a wedding last weekend. Fucking sucked. I mean, the wedding was great, but we got to Michigan on Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday, and we were like hanging out, had a couple martinis, and my head started hurting, and the headache just didn't go away until like 3 p.m. on Saturday, like a fucking bad headache too, and it wasn't a migraine because usually my vision goes away, and that's like basically unbearable, but for basically 48 hours, I just had this crippling headache. Like I would fall asleep and then wake up every like 30 minutes. And I couldn't go see. We were in Traverse City, Michigan, which was like a gorgeous little lake town that I couldn't see most of because I was just laying in bed. So that really sucked ass. But then the actual wedding, when I started feeling better after having Excedrin for like 4 straight days, was good. And then came home to me beating the living shit out of Denton. So it doesn't get much.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I gotta wear.
Yeah, at least it was better for the. At least it was better for the wedding.
Yeah, yeah. It cleared up like kind of while we were at the ceremony at the church, so it was like just in time. But yeah, that blew. I'll be wearing that plum suit this weekend. You'll see it. Dude, do you still have your feather tie from France?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've worn mine twice, and it looks like I put it through a fucking blender.
Really?
Yeah, I like all the edges are frayed, and the feather itself is like shifted, and it was a little roughed up from the trip from France, but all I did was just wear it to a wedding.
Yeah.
Last weekend, and it looks just like total trash. So I'm pretty pissed off about that.
Yeah. So you wore it last weekend for the second time?
Yeah, second time ever. The feathers are all fucked up on it.
I might have to go get a replacement tie.
Yeah.
But
I actually emailed their support and was like, "Yo, do you guys repair ties?" And they just never responded.
They just send you the link for buying a new one.
Yeah, and like a middle finger. Yeah. Cool. So you won. I saw it.
I did. It was
squad's looking good for the Medusa.
Yeah, I was close to having 2 straight weeks as top scorer. I think Stumbo may have got me by a few points this week.
Yeah, so when you texted me that Houston fucked you, what you really meant is I won by 10 and I'm 3-0 now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little dramatic. I was legitimately panicking when I texted you about Dallas's comeback.
Yeah,
because he had Dak, and I was watching. Was like, I fucking got it. And I went in the kitchen, started making dinner. Like 10 minutes later, I come out, and Dak has fucking 30 points.
Yeah.
And they're driving down the field again. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Jesus. So
I have Dak in a dynasty league, and he had like 1 point at half, and then I ended up winning by like 3 or 4 points. So his second half was fucking insane. But yeah, I don't even know what that was. Like, it's like a combination of. There's no worse team in the entire universe than the Ravens up like 2 scores.
Yeah.
And then Dak is only good when like there's no more expectations on him. So
he's a garbage time absolute king.
Yeah, he's a merchant.
Like, sick.
Speaking of NFL observations, we got to talk about the Vikings first and foremost. Sam Darnold. I kind of thought, like, as a joke, he might be Darnold might be better. You know, the gig bus thing, blah blah blah. But he
Yeah.
actually legitimately looks like a first round QB.
it's
7 years later.
it's like one of those things that you like. We would talk about songs that we would like ironically talk about how we like them, and
Yeah.
then they're like, "Dude, I think I actually love this song."
Yeah. Actually, at that wedding I was at, the fraternity of like the groom, the first song that they played to get everyone out there was um, the 6 feet Creed song. What is that fucking with arms wide open? It was like they're like putting him on their shoulders, like with arms wide open. All right, these
That's
guys are
incredible.
legit.
I mean, that'll get people going. But yeah,
Yeah.
and what the hell is I haven't had a Vikings game locally. But
Yeah.
what the fuck is Flores doing with the defense? That
Well,
they're
I
like
mean,
seeing ghosts. They're like, I didn't even fucking know you could run schemes like that.
last year the defense at the second half of the season was very good. This year, I guess a full season to implement the system. They traded for um, Van Ginkel and
Gink.
the Gink and Blake Cashman, and like that's all they needed, I guess. Like everybody, there's like 4 different people on their defense that just they don't have a position, they just play defense. Like Josh Metellus, Ginkel, and there's one of their corners or safety that just like move around all over the place, and it's just like fucking insane for anybody to look at. You're like, what is this guy even doing? This guy's a fucking safety, and he's in my grill right now.
They
So
have like
it's
4
awesome.
spies just like roaming the field at all times, just
Yeah, yeah.
ad libbing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be tough to game plan for.
Yeah, and then I mean the two defenses that they've gone through, the 49ers and Houston, are both not bad defenses, and they've kicked the fuck out of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, KOC, I think he's severely underrated, and he won't be for a long time. He's fucking awesome. I mean, it's like even last year they basically won themselves out of a good draft pick because Kevin O'Connell's such a good coach. He got Dobbs to look like a MVP for 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the coaching staff rules. We just need to be healthy and put it all together, and then we can play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It'd be great.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a few teams that are getting some hype that are like you're just kind of waiting for them to fall back down to earth.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's where the Vikings are at.
No.
I think
Not
I mean
after.
they're not going to go fucking 18 or 17-0, but
Right.
um,
This is
no, I
way
mean
different than
nobody
like
is.
2 years ago when they just eked out a bunch of weird wins with the worst defense in the NFL.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was better.
yeah. And if they played like Carolina and the Giants and
Yeah.
3 shit teams, but Houston is a player. San Francisco is obviously really good,
Mm-hmm.
and I think week 1 was maybe a cupcake, but I don't remember
Yeah.
who they
And
played.
they got Green Bay again this week, so
Yeah, that's gonna
true
be
test.
also this. That was one observation I had is uh, fucking how does Green Bay always have a good quarterback? Malik Willis, just like I what the
Dude.
oh,
Malik Willis was the
LaFleur
worst
also
quarterback in the universe last year when he played a couple games with the Titans, and now he's just like, yeah, I could be a starter in the league, no
the
problem.
Titans just send him packing, give him away for free, and then
Yeah.
he comes around like 3 weeks later and beats them. That's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
But
maybe we just severely underestimate the importance of good coaches.
yeah, I think
Goddamn.
O'Connell and LaFleur are just studs,
Yeah.
and there's good organizations that like know how to put a structure around a quarterback and not like the Bears that just I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck up Caleb Williams' entire career.
I kind of feel bad for Caleb. Like that organization, Eberflus is a fucking clown. Shane Waldron is legitimately the worst OC in the entire NFL. He
I
has
could
no
not
shot.
I could not believe they didn't get rid of Eberflus
Yeah,
before the year.
he's so fucking stupid.
Like,
Those we didn't talk about. I don't think I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but those challenges, 2 challenges, where there was like a contested catch or whatever, where it was clearly he caught it, but it was also directly in front of Eberflus. And then I think there was another one that was a fumble that was not even fucking close. He just burns 2 timeouts and 2 challenges just because like he does what everybody else would do is like, nuh-uh,
yeah.
no, that didn't happen. Like, there's no way he did that. That's bullshit. And then he just challenges it like a fucking baby.
He just thinks out of principle he should challenge it. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about your principle, dude. You're gonna lose that every time.
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately think that Caleb could be very good. He just is not going to be very good with Eberflus and Waldron. Like,
Yeah.
no chance. I like what like the Chargers did, where well, I have Herbert in a dynasty league, so he is basically useless this year. But they drafted like the #1 offensive lineman, and they got like a wide receiver too. Like, great.
Yeah.
Next year, let's build off that. Whereas like I don't know what happened, but the Bears just fooled themselves into thinking that like with this offensive line they could be contenders. Where Caleb Williams snaps the ball and he's about to get like his shit rocked. So
Yeah.
it's bad.
He's immediately under pressure every snap.
And even if he isn't, I don't think I've ever seen this. Even if he is under pressure, I watched a couple of snaps. He backs up. He does this little like hop thing. I've never seen it where he literally turns his head 90 degrees around him like, oh god.
He just assumes there's people surrounding him at all times.
Yeah. Normally it's like you kind of feel it, but Caleb Williams has literally turned his head like 90 degrees both sides to make sure he's not about to get fucking killed.
Yeah.
That's scary.
The Odunze pick, it looks like an all-time. I mean, Odunze might be fine, but like when you already have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
And you have Joe Alt sitting right there.
Yeah.
Is like all-time.
You just paid DJ Moore so much to be your wide receiver 1. Also at like 12:01 on the trade deadline or whenever the trade thing opened up, they bought DeAndre Swift for like $12 million. What? DeAndre Swift is fucking terrible. God, if that guy doesn't have like 6 yards to run before he gets touched, like he's one of the worst running backs in the league. So they do that. They sign Keenan Allen. They sign DJ Moore, and they go, you know what? Third wide receiver. We need another weapon. We don't need to keep our guy alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad. I don't know. I think it's going to be like one of those. Even Darnold, he had. I guess he had Shanahan last year, but Purdy was already the GOAT. But he had no shot for the first like 4 years or 5 years of his career. I think we're going to see like a decent amount of these guys that like bounce back after 4 or 5 years in the league because people are so obsessed with like a QB just starting and being great.
Yeah. Well, I think you were starting to talk about Herbert, where it like take some of the pressure off of him and give him a run game, and then then he can kind of be above and beyond, and just it's not everything on him to just be a superhero to play.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
he
look
also
at
just gets crushed all the time, even with Joe Alt.
Yeah.
The rest of the line is terrible, so he gets fucking smoked if Joe doesn't block like 4 people on his own.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We've stuck too much on that. Charlie Kohler's the tight end 1 for the Ravens. That's pretty awesome. Both snaps and fantasy-wise, he was number 1. The third observation I had was, please, for the love of God, get Brock Purdy some help. He can't do it all himself.
After all the talk about, he's got such a good supporting cast. Yeah, he's just a product of the system. Yeah. I think the team's holding Purdy back.
No, I don't think anybody listening to this podcast needs to know this, but Twitter needs to know Brock Purdy is elite. Shut your fucking mouth. Without him, that team would
Oh, yeah.
be a 2-win team the entire year.
Oh,
The
yeah.
guy's a beast.
His
Here's a
running
fun
backs
stat.
off getting a new Achilles.
Yeah, what? I keep refreshing
Ayuk is the
Sleeper trying to
worst
figure out what's
receiver.
happening.
Ayuk is the worst receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, true.
He's so fucking bad.
He's had like 5 balls going to him and a lateral, and he's dropped all of them.
And
I keep
Debo
refreshing
can't stay
the
on
FF
field.
news, trying to figure out what the fuck is happening with Christian McCaffrey. But as far as I know, he just disappeared into a portal to Germany and has never to be found again.
Yeah, I think
But
he's. I don't think
he's
he'll
dead.
come back. Honestly, I think that's more likely than anything.
I think so too. In our Dynasty League, I offered a lot of trades because he's not coming back. Christian McCaffrey is not going to be a thing this year. Okay?
Stop
Get
trying
it
to
through
make
your thick
CMC
fucking
happen.
skull. It's not happening.
Get it through your skull.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact. Sam Darnold is younger than Joe Burrow. So a lot of dynasty teams are being built around Joe Burrow. Everyone thinks Joey Buckets is like a big deal. He is very good. But Sam Darnold has also been very good this year and is about 6 months younger than Joe Burrow. So you think that I actually did think that Darnold was like 30 almost, like he'd been around, kicked around forever. But yeah, he's about 6 months
how old
younger
is
than Burrow.
Burrow? Did you say?
I think they're both 27
Okay,
or 28.
that makes sense. Yeah, because Burrow came in when he was like 23,
Yeah, he was an old.
and Darnold came in when he was like 19.
Yeah, Darnold does. It kills me a little bit because Darnold looks like a moron. He looks like a high school bully, but whatever. If he's slinging touchdowns, I guess.
I also saw, I don't know, it's on Instagram, I think. I don't remember where. I can't cite the source, but it said like Sam Darnold shoots his shot at the Hawk Tua girl. It's like, get it, Sammy. He's finally got some stardom. That's his first pick.
Darnold just reminds me of like the Stan Darsh thing from
Yeah.
South Park. He looks like he would do that.
I'm starting to form a kind of somewhat of a hot take on Burrow. I can't put my finger on what it is. I think he's like secretly like a tryhard or like just not. I don't know what it is. Something about like the way he dresses, how he comes into the season with like frosted tips or bleached hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he actually like the biggest dork or like I don't know. I can't put my finger on what it is yet, but
Well, he
I
should
don't
learn
think
from.
I don't think Burrow's as cool as he like the persona he gets out there.
I think long hair Burrow is pretty cool, but he didn't learn from Morris and whatever his name is from the loss to UAB that you can't just frost your tips. You don't get to do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
We should all I learned one thing from that travesty is to don't frost your tips before ever.
Yeah. And this is like the 4th year in a row that they've not 0-3, but they've started out super slow because they don't play anyone in preseason, and I don't know, they just dick around for the first half of the season. But it's not looking good for the old Tigers.
I had a couple. I'm going on NFL for a while, but I'll pick a couple other observations just to throw out. A lot of people know me as a previous Browns fan. Browns are complete ass. They're mid, dead ass, for real. No cap.
No cap. Bussing. Not bussing.
And I texted you about this, but I thought it was so crazy that I wanted to bring it up on the pod. I didn't realize how bad Deshaun Watson's contract was. So because they backloaded it so much, so the first year he signed, they only paid him like $1 million while he was suspended. And the entire thing is guaranteed. So it's just so backloaded. If they were to cut him this year, the dead cap hit next year would be $173 million.
Oh
The highest
my
ever was Russ this year. I think it was like 60.
Jesus Christ.
The entire salary cap per year is 220 million. So the Browns would literally be solvent if they cut him this year. Like they wouldn't be able to field a fucking team.
They have to
It's
bankrupt the
so
whole
crazy.
organization.
Just the worst personnel salary decision of all time. It's
So
mind
they still have
blowing.
2 years
the
of his
Browns-
contract?
Uh,
Or is it longer?
I think it's. I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 years. I think it's at least 2.
God damn.
So I mean, if they just benched him, he would just have to sit on their roster for at least another year, and then it would probably still be like $100 million.
Jesus.
It's got to be, yeah. I'll look that up afterwards. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, CJ Stroud got little brothered by Darnold after doing it to Caleb the week before.
That's right.
Life
Hey,
comes
someday
at you
you'll make
fast.
it in this league, buddy.
That was pretty funny. Let's see, I got to Brock. Chiefs keep winning.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. It's funny they don't look good. I think
That's
Kelsey.
kind of all last year too, though.
What's that? Yeah. It's kind of the same thing as last year. I think Kelsey's just out of shape because he hasn't worked out in 6 months.
He's been crushing beers with his brother and banging Taylor Swift.
Pretty much. But you gotta think, yeah, it's weird because it obviously I'm not going to complain about winning, but there's still part of me that's like, God, I miss the like Tyreek teams.
Yeah.
That
just like 40 to 50.
Oh, just those crazy shootouts. At no point in the game were they ever out of it.
Yeah.
That was. God.
Yeah, and that's in the dynasty stuff I do. It's always like Mahomes and Allen. Like you need to get up to Mahomes and Allen if you're in Superflex, and it's like I don't know. Over the last 2 years, Mahomes has not. He's still very obviously the best quarterback in the league, but fantasy wise, they're leaning more and more on like short stuff. Runs, a lot of running. Yeah, it's just, I mean, right now, Mahomes is like the 15th QB or something like that. He's like super low.
Yeah.
He was like that last year. I think he finished as like QB 4 or 5, and people picked him as the number 2 QB. So, yeah, I would love to see more. It's like the Vic Fangio thing from last year, where like everyone's in too high, you can't throw deep anymore. Like they'll run it enough that eventually too high will go away, and we'll go back to Mahomes chucking 70-yard bombs to Xavier Worthy. We just gotta wait it out, you know.
Yeah. God willing.
Mm-hmm.
But exactly. I think that covers my NFL observations.
Sick. It would be an honor to lose to Mahomes in the Super Bowl as a Vikings fan. Actually, no, it wouldn't. That would really piss me off. 0-5 in the Super Bowl, I'd honestly KMS.
For Mahomes to get 3 in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know what would be more painful if the Bills and Vikings played together. The Bills got their first win after going 0-4 in a row, or the Vikings winning. I mean, that wouldn't be painful for me, but for the Bills, like we finally got back after like 50 years. Fucking Josh Allen, baby, and Sam Darnold like rips their soul out. That'd be pretty delicious.
That would be. I'd be rooting hard for the Vikes for sure.
That would be just if Bills Vikings would be. Oh, that'd be awesome. I wouldn't. I would
That'd be
care,
pretty
but not.
stupid.
I'd be very happy about the city of Buffalo. All right. On to notable results from the league. We were 30 minutes in. We haven't talked about the fantasy football league at all. I killed Denton. I already said that, but Denton's team is basically dead. He has 6 people. Oh, I posted in the chat, but yeah, all 6 people on his bench are out, and then he lost Thielen, and he had one more that he started, Jordan Love, who was out. So he's 8 people out.
Thanks.
That's pretty rough. Renner won by 1 point because Mr. Ambert Murray is one of the few people who picked up Juwan Jennings and benched him. So nice 41 points on the bench. Instead, he played Tyler Lockett, George Pickens, Chris Godwin, and Javonte Williams, who combined didn't even score half of what Juwan Jennings did.
Oh, that's rough.
Next thing was Zachar won. So he was 0-2. I picked him to win the whole league. He pulls out a W because Kyhim Williams scored 30, and now he's got me up next. And then the last thing was Will won by 0.02. I don't know if I have seen closer than that. I don't know if I've ever gotten to a 0.01, possibly.
Yeah.
But he was losing going into Monday Night Football. He was projected to lose going into Monday Night Football. But he started Andre Iosivas.
Oh my God.
And Rashad Bateman. And both of them scored touchdowns and had double-digit points. So,
Jesus.
he pulls
Can't think of anything more Will.
Yeah, fucking total bullshit lineup, and he pulls it out by 0.02. This is actually, I'm in another league with my Kansas City boys. Not you, of course, because you didn't join. And Will is in it, and he won by 0.02 last week. So the guy is just, he is fucking bulletproof right now.
He's on the razor's edge.
Yeah. All right, on to Herman German. You, 3-0. That's the only thing I wrote down.
It's the only thing to write down. I mean,
yeah.
It's the talk of the league.
You and Stumbo are 3-0. You are 417 points for. That is, I'm going to do it real quick.
I'm leading in all leagues.
I'm going to do that right now. See if you're the highest of all. 410. What are you right now? 412.
417.
Yeah, you're the highest of all by about 6. No, by about 8. Nice, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is your fucking year, dude.
Getting that fucking jersey.
So let's look at the old Medusa's team right here. I'm not sharing my screen. I'm not going to try. Stupid fucking Streamlabs. You got Stroud, Kyhim Williams with 30, Montgomery with 20, Amon-Ra St. Brown with 17, Nico Collins 10, Metcalf 19. This team is fucking awesome. Brock Bowers with a down week. Gerald Ford. I don't know what is up with Gerald, but he's probably fine.
Yeah.
I think I'm Number 3 kicker with a 0. That's how good this guy is.
Yeah, he went off first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Kaimi, 17 and 20, followed by a goose egg.
A big dud, but that's what Brian Flores does, man. So you lost the special teams battle pretty bad, but you made it up everywhere else. Yeah, this is a really good squad.
I'd like to call out a certain migratory fowl who in the draft, I think Kyhim was my second round pick. So coming around, I was like the 9. So what would that be, like 15, 16 or overall? I picked Kyron, and he stops, turns, and goes, "Are you kidding me? Kyron Williams? What the?" And like calls me out in the draft. I was like, "Oh, we'll see." And
Goose, are you fucking stupid? Kyron Williams was like
fire. Kyron
Williams was a top, I don't know, 14, 13, 12 pick the entire year. What are you talking about? Who? Goose?
Like Blake Corum.
What rankings are you looking at, man?
His fucking carries blow me.
Yeah,
But
Kyron
yeah,
was always a very, very high draft pick. That's
Kyron's been great.
ridiculous.
I for a hot second I was regretting drafting both Monty and the Sun God, but just stack up on Lions, especially if they're David Montgomery.
Yes, Montgomery is gonna have a fucking career year, dude.
He is fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's weird. Goff nearly led the league in passing yards last year and had 30 touchdowns, and this year they just running the ball. So it's a good year to have Montgomery, and it's a good year to have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
If they don't throw the ball, they throw it to Amon-Ra.
Exactly, yeah. Last year was a bit of an outlier with that dipshit, drooling tight end from Iowa gobbling up a bunch of touchdowns he didn't deserve.
Now that the roids have worn off,
yeah,
he's hurt and piece of shit. So
yeah, he's fat and stupid and ugly and dumb and stuff.
No one likes him being blue.
All right. Anyway, on to Blipdo. The only note I had here was Josh, resident Lions fan, started Baker Mayfield over Jared Goff, and he lost by 1 point. Baker Mayfield had 9 points. Jared Goff had like 13 or 14. So maybe stick to your guns, buddy. Peters Cuervo, Rob versus Pentek. Pentek is my champion pick out of here, and they both had negative defenses that played each other, which is even weirder. So I don't know if I've ever seen this before, but let me see if I can.
Oh, both their defenses were in the same game.
In the same game, and they played each other. Yeah.
Holy shit! And they both got negative.
Oh wait, no. Nope, never mind. All right, I misread this. Does he have? Nope, never mind. This is a lie. He had. Rod had the Vegas defense with -2, and Pentek had the Dallas defense with -1. But I thought that the Vegas defense with the Ravens defense. So never mind. But both negative defenses, which is kind of weird. And then Pentek won, so he's still on track to be in the mix for a title. Newhall, Tom, beautiful and powerful. He exploded for 181, the highest score of the week. Josh Allen with 30. Derrick Henry with 30. Huh?
181?
181, yeah.
Holy shit. That is
Josh Allen with 30. Derrick Henry with 30. Montgomery with 20. Amari Cooper with 25. Stephon Diggs with 15. Rashee Rice with 23. Dallas Goedert, something presidents would know nothing about, 22 points. Calvin Ridley won. Don't worry about that guy. And then kicker and defense with 8 and 7. But holy shit, that first 6 is insane.
That's an observation.
Mason. So Mason Renner started, for some reason he started Patrick Mahomes over Brock Purdy. Could not imagine why that would be the case, but he lost by the difference. And then let's move on to Old Hall. We got the Rippers. Sullivan crushed Josh Renner. Josh Renner is my champion pick, so I am continuously embarrassed by that. Because it should have been Sully. It always should have been Sully. He was always the one. Kind of like a white whale that got away. I'm always thinking about Sully. Then the Presidents, for some weird reason, the only thing I really saw was for some weird reason that Stu benched Cole Kmet, even though we all know he's excellent, and he lost because of it. So.
Lame.
Yeah, that's too bad. Not a lot's going on in Presidents. I mean, it's just like your standard. It's like basically 12 bots playing against each other. It's like, oh, hey, you got this guy. I guess I'll draft this guy who's right behind him, and let's just play each other.
The waiver wire is just full of fucking starting running backs and.
Yeah, it's all just whatever.
The MVP fantasy, caliber quarterbacks.
Every roster is just fantasy's guys roster from that position, and then every waiver claim is just whatever the highest one ranked on that podcast is. Just a bunch of clowns.
Fucking mid.
Yeah, on to waivers. There's only 2. Juwan Jennings being picked up a week after he was useful for you. TJ Schmidt picked him up for $80. Twice the amount of points he scored last week, so that is pretty great. And then the Vikings defense, I was pretty surprised, is out there on waivers for pretty much every league. I think I saw at least 4.
Herman
Vikings
German
defense got picked up.
I got outbid for Vikings D. I got bid the same. I put in $10, and someone else bid 10, and they got him over waiver position.
Yeah,
but yeah,
there's
that's
a couple
surprising.
11s. I dumped 20 because my defense. I picked the Browns, and I can't trust Deshaun Watson not turn the ball over at like the 5-yard line. So I went Vikings. I put 20 in. Nobody else bid. So I'm a dumbass, but they're the number 1 defense in the league. They have like fucking 15 sacks in 3 games. So I thought it might be worth it. Maybe this is a Dallas defense from last year situation. So
Yeah.
Other than that, there's really nothing else waiver wise. There's no trades still. I'm the only trade.
I know. I picked up Jennings for like $20.
Yeah,
I was going back and forth on whether to put much in, because is he going to have that type of week every week? No, of course not. But
right. But if
Ayuk
Debo's out,
sucks now, and Debo could be hurt all the time. Kittle's old as fuck.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He might be tough to start week in, week out, but
it does seem like anytime Debo's out, just put Jennings in. Like he always makes plays. He's like somehow a phenomenally good at wide receiver. That
I think he's their best wide receiver.
Yeah, right now he is. Yeah, Ayuk can't catch the fucking ball. He can't even catch a pitch.
Yeah,
dude's terrible. Maybe you should go to training camp, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I like how in his interview he's like, oh, I could have signed the contract a long time ago. I just didn't.
God. All right. So upcoming league week. So Jaylong brought to me an interesting idea. I forget what he was talking about, but I basically took it as we should gamble on the matchup of a week. So anybody that wants to get in on some action on who they think is going to win the matchup of the week, we could figure out a way to gamble on it. I'm not gonna do it this week. It's still something I'm tinkering around with, but in general, what I'm thinking is everybody Venmos me money, and then whoever bets correctly, we like divvy up the pot to them. But that's also like, well, I'm only going to pick matchups that are super, super close, so I'm hoping that the bets are like even, but I don't know. There's a lot of problems with it, but I'm tinkering around with an idea like that. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential there.
Right, yeah.
I like the
love
idea.
Gambling, and gambling's great. It's what we do every day.
Just another chance for guys to be dudes.
Exactly. Talk to my boys about nonsense. Yeah. General league topics. You had something about who to listen to, or what things you tune into?
This is something I was just for some reason it just popped in my head and was curious. I think I know some of your guys you listen to, but I'd be interested to like hear in the Discord who people's favorite, like just who you consume for like sports talking heads analysis. Because I've found that there's a few people that I've just kind of gravitated, started listening to, and there's some people like once in a while I'll like hate listen just to see like how they defend something. But I guess I'll go. I mean, I can start. I tend to watch a couple guys on Fox FS1. I started watching. I think it was maybe like 7-8 years ago. I heard a guy call Iowa the fake ID of college football,
Oh,
and Colin Coward.
Yep.
It was all he needed. Like, fuck yeah, this guy, because it was perfectly encapsulated why I hate Iowa so much. Because they think they're fucking in the same conversation as Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, even like USC, and like you are not in the same breath. They've maybe beat Ohio State. It's not in the double digits. The total number of times they beat Ohio State.
Their greatest claim to fame every single year is if it happens to happen, they beat us. That's it.
Yeah. And that got me going on Coward. And he talks for like 3 hours a day.
Jesus.
So there's tons of, you can find a lot of funny clips of, actually his Darnold takes now are starting to come back because he was obsessed with Sam Darnold. And he called his ceiling Andrew Luck. Or no, his floor. He does like these comps where he does like a ceiling and a floor. And he's like, his ceiling, I think, was like Peyton Manning or some stupid like that. His floor was Andrew Luck.
Turns out he was right. Just needed to be
yeah. Just a little delayed. Just like 7 years too early.
Yeah.
And the other guy that I listen to is I think a lot of people hate him, but I love listening to Nick Wright. He's a Kansas City
NBA
guy,
right?
He does a lot of NBA too, but he's from Kansas City, and so he is. What's the word I'm looking for?
Glaze? Does he glaze Kansas City?
Well, he's just dunks all over every other team, and just picks them to win a Super Bowl every year. And so most of the time in the last 5 years, he's been right.
So Nick W. R-I-T-G-G. Okay,
yeah.
I know who those guys. I kind of know those guys. Yeah.
And he's good at arguing. I'll say that. He's just he is good at like deconstructing arguments.
Do you have a podcast, or are we listening to him on? I know
he does have.
Is Colin Coward.
Yeah, he does. He does have a podcast that I'll put on the background once in a while. That it's just him. He doesn't have any guests. He just. Well, that's great. It's just more like long form. His point
if it's just him.
He just he wins every time that way. He has like his son is like co-hosts it and will kind of kick around stuff, but there's not like anyone that comes on and debates him on his podcast.
Got it. That's the perfect podcast. I'm right.
Oh, yeah.
And the only person to tell me that I'm wrong is myself, and I'm not going to do that.
Exactly. And yeah, so those two guys, I don't think I can stand anyone on ESPN for the most part. For more comedy stuff, the Pardon My Take guys obviously are hilarious and they know ball.
They do.
But I don't know about you.
Well, I don't really listen to anything like outside of fantasy. The only two podcasts I listen to are Pardon My Take and Mina Kimes. I think Mina Kimes is brilliant.
I do like Mina Kimes.
Watching her dunk on people on Twitter is always really funny.
Yeah.
Her podcast is like, usually every year I'm like obsessed with, I need football stuff, and I'll listen to a couple of her first episodes, and I'm just like, whatever. I feel like a lot of what her podcast says is like pretty obvious shit. So I even just like today, I've unsubscribed. I'm like, whatever. I will catch up on Twitter. I don't really listen to it all that much. Honestly, I found that now that I have a job that keeps me busy, I have less time to fuck around on podcasts, which is really a bummer. But even my fantasy football life has condensed down to, I have a Dynasty podcast, an IDP podcast, That's individual defensive players for those who don't do that. And then I listen to the Ringer Fantasy Football Cup podcast because those guys are really, really funny. I don't know if their advice is good or not, but this guy Craig on that podcast has like the most soothing voice ever, but he's also hilarious. I really enjoy that. So it's pretty much that, and then yeah, pardon my take, and that's pretty much it. I don't.
Yeah, there's some other people I follow on Twitter that I mean I like to read what they post about, like Bill Barnwell, Media Kimes. Oh, the other guy I like
There's a
listening to
guy
is
who
Ryan.
does the Baldy's breakdowns. Baldy's great.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm familiar. The other one I like listening to in podcast once in a while is Ryan Rossello.
Yeah, Russillo's great.
I think he can kind of cut through some of the like talking head bullshit that just gets recycled over and over.
Well, what I thought I liked about the Mina Kimes show was like, oh, we're gonna do a team by team breakdown. It was like her and somebody else, but then what they ended up doing was like, what do you think is this team's goal to winning the game, and what do you think is this team's goal to winning the game? And it was the same thing. It was like the offensive line needs to block the defensive line. And these guys, well, they need to get pressure. It's like, okay, shut the fuck up. Oh my god. That's the breakdown of every game ever. Shut the fuck up. You don't need a podcast for that.
Yeah, I love the question that gets asked every week. Well, did this team lose the game or did this team win the game?
That sounds like right up Colin Cowherd's alley. You would love that shit.
They do. I mean, he
don't make excuses for Cowherd, you fucking idiot. The guy's a clown. He did happen to hate Iowa, which we love, but he's a fucking moron.
He does have a lot of, like, I think if you've ever listened to he talks more sense on his podcast. Like I'll listen to him and Nick Wright when they do a podcast together, and they
smooch.
Yeah, they just make out the whole time.
About how right they
but yeah, it's not for TV, so they can just talk football.
It's for Benda.
It's for me.
That's nice. But yeah, I do. Kind of to your point, I do. Even when people I fucking hate, they have a take about like Iowa. I'm like, these guys are right. Like this.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Hey, the worst person you know just made a great point. That's exactly right. Yeah, I fucking love it. The fake ID thing was phenomenal.
It's so good. The other guy that I'm coming around to your side of the fence is Pat McAfee. I can't stand. He just brings athletes on and just kisses their ass.
No, he's a glazer. He's a fucking moron. Go back to punting. Like the dude is a joke.
Yeah, it's not great.
His entire platform now is just for Aaron Rodgers to like piss and shit himself whenever he wants to. It's fucking
talking about shoving crystals up his ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking stupid.
Anyway.
All right. Mailbag. We only had a couple. Who would be the top picks in the doer? I think we got to wait a little longer than 3 weeks. Marry, Fuck, Kill, 30 Rock, The Office, and Parks and Rec. Mine was going to be marry 30 Rock because I think 30 Rock has like the most jokes per minute in television history. And I love 30 Rock. I would fuck The Office. I think it's a great show, but I'm kind of moved on, you know? It's like a fling that I could come back to, but I would rather, go on. And then Parks is just fine, but I don't care about it at all.
Yeah. Mine's completely different, so this is good.
Nice. Embrace debate.
I would marry The Office, and thinking about it made me laugh because there was I think it was a few weeks ago where I texted you, I was like, why is no one laughing at my hilarious office gifs?
Oh, like, that's right.
Yeah, you're like, right. No one likes that shit anymore, man. I gotta post like new age SpongeBob shit, dude. And I just can't get off it. It's just like seared in my brain.
Well, it's also part of like a very important time in our lives. It was late high school, college. Like, damn.
Yeah.
We're becoming big boys.
I became married to that show. So yeah, I'd marry The Office because I want to.
You'd marry Pam Beesly.
I'd marry Pam Beesly. Yeah. I would fuck Parks and Rec because nice. I like it. I like it once in a while. I'll come back to it. Yeah, it's like that fling you mentioned.
They're both kind of the same. After season 2, it's like really good.
Yeah, I like to just take another lap around the block with Parks, and I never got into 30 Rock. I tried a couple times, and it just didn't. The show didn't grab me for whatever reason. I don't really know why, but so I'd kill 30 Rock.
I thought, I do think there's a piece of 30 Rock that's like there's too many jokes.
Mm.
They almost every scene is like supposed to be a joke, and that can be kind of grating.
Yeah.
Mary and I watched a bunch of it in like COVID, somewhere around the COVID time, and it was awesome, but we couldn't like binge the whole thing, after like I think it was like 7 or 8 seasons, and it's like, oh God, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. But yeah. Yeah, and this is a hard one because I have nothing against Parks and Rec. I think it's a great show. I don't like
it's good in spurts.
Yeah. All right. Who would the top picks in a redraft be in a do-over? What do you think, Benda? I didn't really give a lot of thought to this. Let me look at the draft board.
Yeah, I didn't pull the draft board.
We would probably dump Andrews and Kelsey. That's for goddamn sure. Kelsey is 3-1 in our draft. So is Laporta. So is Andrews. So there would be no tight ends really in the first 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, Pittman. Oh my God, Pittman would not be in there. He's round 4. Tank Dell gone.
Yeah.
Waddle.
Puka because of the injuries.
Yeah. Who would we move up though? Montgomery would definitely. In my league, he was 6. I got him in the 6th. He would be up 2 rounds easily.
Yeah, I got him in the 5th.
Godwin at 7. He'd be up a couple rounds.
Oh, God, yeah. Neighbors, fucking Malik Neighbors would be in the Marvin
Neighbors
Harrison
4,
spot.
5. Yeah, he'd be up in the 2nd round probably. What else?
Could see DK going higher, maybe 2nd round.
Yeah.
He's had a couple good weeks.
I took Chubb in the 7th. He'd probably be going later as people were panicking. I don't know. For some reason, this entire draft, like after the 6th round, I was like, all these people suck ass. Like everyone in this, it's all backups and like, oh, Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
Holy shit, he was 10-8 in our draft. He should have been like in the 3rd round. What is he right now? Oh, he's number 15? What? Who the fuck are the top running backs? Look at this right now. It is... No, not free agents, you dickhead. Barkley, Kamara, Kyron, Henry. Oh, James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Brees Hall, Achane, Taylor. Charbonnet. Okay, that's a fucing...
Yeah. Yeah.
Montgomery,
just had like
Aaron Jones.
Crazy week.
Oh yeah, okay. So, Charbonnet and Jordan Mason, are both kind of like imposters, if you would say. Like they weren't supposed to be starters that are higher than those guys.
Yeah. I don't know who would go. Obviously, McCaffrey doesn't go 1 overall anymore. Would you
Oh yeah, for
go?
sure.
And
He might miss the entire year.
neither would Tyreek.
Nope.
CD is doing. I mean,
I
CD's doing all right.
don't think I would have taken Garrett Wilson. I would have gone like Harrison or Neighbors, even though that's or no, I would have gone Collins. Definitely would have gone Nico Collins instead of Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of liking my first 2 round picks. I don't know that I would change them. I mean, I could have taken Saquon with my first rounder, but I like having the Sun God.
Yeah, I'm ownership on fucking rules. And Kyron has proved, dude, your draft is awesome. St. Brown, Williams, Nico, like
Yeah,
Montgomery, Metcalf.
yeah.
I mean, goddamn. If you lose, it's only yourself to blame. You're destined to be a loser.
Also, I mean, all tight ends are shit, but I'm happy with my Brock Bowers pick.
Yeah,
Like,
Bowers is awesome.
Yeah,
He's the next Laporta.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. All right, well, I don't have much else. Rosemary has me exhausted, so I'm probably going to go to bed. But I will see you in 3 days.
Yeah, man.
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah, 2 days. I'm excited. We're going to a wedding. Dear friend of ours, Ellie. There Friday, Saturday, and then head out Sunday. I don't know.
I feel like we're always either have just seen each other or are about to see each other when we get on the pod.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just I can just feel your like essence pulling me in.
Yeah, my stank.
Yeah,
my
man.
Gooch smell coming at you. Perfect. All right, man.
It's time to go 4-0, I think.
Goddamn right. I'll see you in 72 hours.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Later.